Topson is actually crazy. No joke, this man is a literal psychopath, and in today's video, we're going to be figuring out how he wins the mid lane. So this basically, and these concepts that I'll be talking about will apply to basically every single mid hero. So whether or not you're trying to learn Ember or another hero that I'll be looking at in the second game, it does not matter, right? These concepts even apply to the safe lane, a position 5 player, 4 player. You just have to be able to translate the concepts into different roles. In fact, that's one of the best, or one of the qualities of a high MMR player, someone who's trying to become better. They can look at one situation in Dota and translate it to different situations. So let's take a look at his Ember gameplay to start and get into it. Also, if you're excited to learn about the laning stage and want to see more content just like this, obviously like the video to help our channel grow, right? I'm trying to put out content every single day, so I would obviously appreciate it if you just click the like button. It's not hard and it helps me a lot. On top of this video, I'll be making a monkey replay analysis soon for the main website. So I just played in a pub, I played monkey mid against the Morphling. I was playing extremely aggressive, getting inside the enemy jungle, and really just experimenting with the new style of mid that I've been seeing from players like Chris Luck and Topson for the past few months. So if you're interested in that content, go check out the main gameleap website in the description below. It's very cheap. I put out a lot of content there, basically a video every single day, whether it's for me or another top tier creator over on the website. So hopefully I'll see you there. And once again, it's just down in the description. Okay, so to start things off, I want you guys with me because this is basically, if I was alone, how I would be analyzing my replays. I want you just to watch every single time he does damage to the puck. What are the circumstances? How many creeps are there? What spells is he using? Is there a reason for it? Just think about it, and then I'll give you my analysis, but I'm just gonna kind of walk through it, give a couple of things here and there, a couple of pieces of advice, but then I'll go over it afterwards. So just to look into it, right? Turns on Flame Guard, hits the puck a bit, getting the CS, you know, he's chilling right now, nothing too crazy, right? Yeah, I'm gonna end it there, now I'm gonna go back. So hopefully you guys can think of some things. If you looked at that and you literally took nothing out of it, that's okay. All I would say is you need to be looking at more replays then, or you just need to be thinking about your laning stage more, because there's a lot to take out of that is unusual. And when you're trying to become the level of a player like Topson, or even closer to it, right? Because guys, you can become a 7K player by taking aspects of it. You don't have to literally instantly become one. I hear people say like, oh, you know, like, I can't learn from Topson because it's not my bracket. Like, what? Do you think he just was never bad at the game? No. But looking into this, let's really break it down. So there's a couple things I want to pay attention to. Number one, Flame Guard. Why does he take Flame Guard level 1 against Puck? Reason being, both the Puck spells are 70 damage. Both are 70 damage, Flame Guard Absorb is 80. So that's just knowing matchups, very important to do if you're trying to become a high-level mid player. You have to know things like that. So, right, goes for their keep deny, pretty basic stuff. Puck overextends, and so he gets some auto attacks in. Reason being is, you know, Ember can trade with Flame Guard very effectively here, right? Flame Guard plus pretty good damage, pretty good attack animation, good movement speed, means he can get a couple of auto attacks onto the puck. And upcoming here, we see probably the oddest part of the laning stage, where he just hits the puck a ton here. What's the reason? Why is he hitting the puck here? Right? Why is he hitting the puck here? Even though he has no spells up, and it ends up actually being fairly unfavorable. What's the reason? Because he thinks the puck is going to be paying attention to this melee creep in particular. Also, what I'm speculating here is he's also prepping the puck for his next Flame Guard, right? So he's going to start hitting the puck. The puck is a very high MMR player. It's Mage, who's ranked 70, right? Very respectable mid player. Reacts to it and does a good job and not tunnel visioning. But guys, trust me, if you do that where all the creeps are like 2 auto attacks away from last hits and you go hit them, 9 times out of 10, I swear you'll catch them off guard and they won't hit you back. In fact, you might hit them 3 times before they even react to you. I'm legit not joking. But yeah, he ends up taking the creep wave, not too great, gets a deny on the way back. But here is probably the most important part of the entire sequence, right? Obviously, besides his good last hitting, which is just an aspect that every mid laner has to actually improve on, what do we see here, right? What are we looking at, okay? He is level 2, right? I actually think the puck might hit level 2. No, puck is not even close to level 2, which he actually knows. And this is very advanced mid laning, but you have to hear me out on this. He knows the puck is not that close to level 2 because there's a lot of creeps left, right? Creeps from the second wave. And because of this, also because he has 2 denies, he knows that with this level 2 advantage and this creep advantage, 3 creeps, only to 1, and a range creep that'll basically insta-die, he can trade even on 200 HP, right? And that's exactly what we're going to see. Most players would be so afraid to approach here, but he understands level advantage, creep advantage, and most importantly, a spell advantage, because now he gets the CS, he dodges the right click with the sleight of fist. Puck, being a good player, does not man up because he understands that he's in disadvantage, or it's just good intuition, and then he backs up and goes for range creep deny. Doesn't get it, but that's just key. And then also, you can see, Topson, his focus is unbelievably split in a good way. Split in a good way. So he's looking at the creeps at all time, but not only is he looking at the creeps, he also has half of his attention on the puck as well. And you can tell that here, right, as I'll skip ahead a little bit. You can tell that here because after he goes for this range creep deny and doesn't get it, he's looking at the puck, right? He just clicked on the deny. If he gets it, whatever. His attention is actually more so on the puck, and he knows now after he goes for it, he can turn around and get a bit more flame damage onto the puck, and that's what he does. Gets a bit more damage, and that's always what you're trying to do in Dota. You are trying to play for the little small chips. Every little advantage you get, you have to take advantage of if you're trying to crush your lane. So if you're a mid player and you're complaining that, you know, like your mid game isn't good enough and your late game isn't good enough, yes, obviously that's going to be part of your issue. But the thing is, you can always crush your mid lane harder, and it's the easiest thing to practice just because you can play 1v1s if you manage to find a 1v1 partner. Alright, now for the back half of this laning stage replay, I'm just going to really pay attention to how he actually manages to kill the puck, right? This is not a matchup where you expect Ember to actually necessarily get a kill. Right? Puck is a very mobile hero, so it can be hard for Ember to actually get a good flame guard off. But how does he do that, right? How does he get a good flame guard off? First things, right? Instead of actually last hitting, he straight up zones the puck off the wave with the flame guard and gets a deny. He's willing to trade regen and health for denies all throughout the laning stage. In fact, guys, if you think you could play this matchup properly without buying like an extra 6 tangos and 2 salves, which he has done throughout this laning stage, in addition he's bought mangoes, you're crazy. You simply won't win because you won't be able to trade effectively enough unless the person is significantly worse than you and not paying any attention. But as you can see, he's zoning the puck with his body and securing all the creeps. Even though, right, he could trade with the puck right now, his priority is still on CS, and always good players will balance out their CS to a large extent, right? You can't just do one or the other. There are some matchups where you can sacrifice one for the other, right? But for the most part, as these scaling cores, you want to do both. And now finally, just because of such a good flame guard, you might see this as like a, oh my god, the puck is so dumb, like puck omega lol, like all this Twitch garbage that I always... It's like, no, the reason why that happens is because he's also conditioned the puck into basically walking for every CS, because what Topson has done is used Flame Guard and an insane amount of regen to push the puck away from the wave over and over again. Not only that, Flame Guard naturally shoves the wave in, right, because it kills all of the creeps, which gives you a creep advantage, and if you guys understand anything about laning, that's a very good thing for trading. Once again, he's done Flame Guard damage to the puck just because he can, and because he gets a level advantage, and then he uses the fact that he's been denying a lot of the puck's creeps, or at least zoning puck off the wave to hit him with more flame guard damage. If you don't know what I mean, you have to look at the replay yourself and really try to internalize it so you can do it too. And now we're just going to kind of see how he manages to dominate this puck for the later half of this replay. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So, he's getting gone on, right? Pretty bad situation. He has very low mana, is not level 6, no spells. Puck has a DD in all of his spells. Or her, I guess, I don't know, whatever puck is it. So he's getting gone on. How does he actually manage to live here? Unfortunately, the replays are currently bugged, so I can't show you the perfect tree juke here, because unfortunately, as I said, it's still looking at like, the map is like 7.23, but he's juking through the trees, gets off his salve, quellings a tree, gets off his back, basically a max salve, and then manages to kill the puck. I think he even juked the silence with Sleight of Fist there. Am I crazy? I don't think he got hit with that silence. Oh my gosh. I think he would have gotten the kill anyway, but that's crazy. Like, oof. And not that that necessarily has any value towards the laning stage. You'll see that he shoves out the wave instantly here. Reason being is that he's level 6 with a bottle, meaning that he can always remnant TP back to base. Went for the bounty rune, which is something, if you're a bottle carrier, you should be doing now. It's easier than ever for mid laners to pick up bounty runes, so you should keep that in the back of your mind. And now I'll show you one more kill before we get into the next replay. So essentially, once you get a high level in Sleight of Fist, all you really do on Ember, when you have a high level of Sleight of Fist, is use it. So that's what we're going to see here. He just slights the puck. Also, what are you looking for if you're playing Ember right now against the puck? What are you looking for to enable you to kill the puck? You are looking for puck to use orb. Also, silence, right, if you can. So currently, silence is on cooldown, and puck only has orb. Now, what do we see? We see the puck commit orb here. Topson, being a good player, instantly knows that this is his chance to go. Why is this? Well, he's played thousands and thousands and thousands of matchups, but he has also analyzed matchups and thinks about them ahead of time, such as, oh, if puck commits orb, I can kill them. Basic things like that, and refreshing your mind on like what can net you a kill in a lane or what you need to look for is the only way to actually get to these high levels. You can get away with just mediocre play throughout the other levels, but if you're trying to get very good very quick, you have to think about these type of things. And then he manages to kill the puck because, frankly, once again, the puck has to go to the orb, because if puck doesn't jaunt to the orb, he's going to be right next to a Flameguard Ember with no spells off cooldown, which is essentially guaranteed death. So puck tries to make the better decision and TP out, but it doesn't work out. Yeah, now this lane's kind of GG, so let's get into the next replay. All right, I am so glad I found this replay. This is like a really, really cool laning stage. He actually does go on to lose this game. This is against Gork PA, so there's basically no way you can win in that regard. But really what I like about this replay in particular is it really goes to show how you can use your body to zone people out, like just your hero model, rather than necessarily like actually just outplaying them with like CS and hitting them at the perfect time. It's kind of like a mental game to some extent. Also, the second half of why I like this replay is he actually ends up snowballing through flash farming on a hero like Monkey King, which isn't always exactly what you'd think of a Monkey King. Monkey King is definitely not seen as some flash farmer. He's more of like this brawler. But the first awesome, really, really cool thing we have to look at here is how does he hit this Magnus under tower without drawing aggro? So as we look at it, right, the creep is drawn aggro, right? So this creep goes under tower and he's sort of following it. You see how he's following this creep? Bit weird, right? But this creep goes under tower range, so it draws the aggro, right? And because of this, right, because the tower locks on, the tower is locked onto that creep for a period of time. Right, and there's like range for the tower where it will lock onto heroes and prioritize you over the creeps, but because he doesn't pass that range, right, and backs up, he actually manages to never actually draw the aggro. Unfortunately, this is a replay bug, and that's just such a cool way to get Jingu when you play under their tower. So if you get a bad block on Monkey King, which frankly isn't a bad thing if you can do this, then try that out. Follow the creep, don't go too far under the tower, and make sure you're backing up when you're auto-attacking, and you can actually do that. And then as you're going to see here, he's going to use all 3 of his Jingu stacks here to actually go for denies. Doesn't end up getting that one. Magnus is a hero with very high damage, so he felt like he had to attack it a bit early, which is understandable against Magnus. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense, and that's really just the beginning of his laning stage dominance, and we're going to keep seeing that here. Look at his movement, right? Guys, you have to look at his movement here. It's really all in the movement that allows him to be such a good Monkey King, because Monkey King's a hero where if you have bad movement, you just get destroyed, because you have very bad armor, bad HP, and yeah, that's basically why. So as we're going to see here, he's getting all the last hits, right? That's standard. But then he moves to the right, right? And he's sort of using these creeps as a barrier to some extent. And also, right, as you can see, he's sort of trying to like de-aggro the creeps by letting them aggro to here. Not going too hard, right? Not overcommitting. But then he sneaks in an auto. Do you guys see how he sneaks that auto? Seems basic, right? It's just like, oh, hit the Magnus. Most players don't ever do this. It's like if they go for Jingu Mastery, they like try to get all 4 stacks every single time they go for it. No, the goal of Monkey King in the laning stage is to hit them once, then maybe 2 seconds later hit them twice, then hit them 3 times. Obviously there's situations where you can get 4 straight up, but as you can see with the Magnus here, he gets 2, and because he has this 2 stacks, he can now basically zone the Magnus out, and using creep aggro, he keeps this creep alive, right? Because when he aggroes the creeps, it will no longer die. Keeps that creep alive, gets the deny, secures all the CS, and this is only because he built up 2 stacks. Even now, he uses the Boundless to secure the last stack, which then once again, he is going to be using to secure last hits, heal himself up, and deny some more creeps. And moving on, we're going to kind of just see a pattern of that. He knows that the Magnus is sort of going for a play here. I actually think the Magnus was threatening Skewer. Otherwise, I don't know why he would trade with Topson like that. But yeah, Topson is really just working him right now. Like, okay, this is my favorite thing. And I actually don't even like telling this to people because I think it's like not a secret necessarily, but it's like the best way to, no joke, catch people off guard mid in particular. It actually works in any lane, but it works well mid in particular because people assume you're going to lose vision because of the hill. So essentially, the best way to get an extra auto attack in, or even hit people with spells, is, or I should say just bait them in, you walk down the high ground, and then, you see how his cursor's still up? He's basically trying to bait the Magnus. So the Magnus assumes he's not paying attention, and he is high ground. But because of this, he assumes the Magnus will be right here. And what do you know? He is. This is always the case. I swear it's always the case. Like, it's so funny that it's the case, but people always do that. And you could be like, oh, the Magnus is just blocking his wave. Yeah, partially. But to a large extent, like, that's just a big thing. People will try to read you going backwards and hit you on the way back. If you turn around and then turn back around, you hit them. Hopefully that made sense. Bit of a weird thing to explain, but yeah, it's just really important for getting that last Jingo hit off. And then he actually kills himself here. which is suboptimal. So he was working this lane, obviously. Magnus is a hero that excels in last hitting. Magnus excels in last hitting, and he is 4-1 to 11-8. Trust me, this is not easy. This is not some Giga Monkey King favored lane. I am certain that I could destroy a lot of you as Magnus when you're playing Monkey King, and yes, that's a threat. But yeah, he does end up going down. He got a bit anxious, or I don't know, got ahead of himself. But kills don't actually completely change your laning stage. Sure, he's behind now. However, you don't just instantly lose the lane because of that. As we'll see here, he'll still manage to make a comeback. You can't let things like that get to your head. Gets one attack in, right? Zones the Magnus out with his body, right? And that's what I mean by zoning him out with the body. You sort of get this one auto in, you build up the Jingu, because it's much easier to get 3 than 4, actually significantly easier. But yeah, it's much easier to get 3 than 4, and we're going to keep seeing that as a theme here, right? Gets one hit in, backs up, right? Doesn't want to tank the tower, looking for another auto attack, right? He's even going to potentially bait this range creep here. Doesn't end up doing it, doesn't want to get skewered, right? Shockwaved into skewered, so he's going to back up a little bit. Just a smart play, always being heads up about your opponent's strengths. It's very important. But as we're going to see, he even makes a stack on Monkey King here. And this is just part of the laning stage, right? I know that this is kind of random, but he just makes a stack in the laning stage. And a lot of players would forget to think of this completely. They just would straight up forget to think of this. And if you don't do this on heroes that can stack, you're going to lose a lot of efficiency. And he understands that Magnus is a very difficult hero to dive. Magnus is one of the hardest heroes to actually dive in Dota because he's tanky, he does a lot of damage, and he can skewer you towards teammates, which is a big threat. And he's preparing to have to play around that fact that it's going to be very hard for him to kill him. And now we're going to start to see the flash farming come into play here. It's 5 minutes in, and he's just going to start sort of killing neutral creeps here and there. Not completely. He's actually going to end up killing the Magnus shortly here, as we're going to see. He actually glyphs the range creep. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was him. I have no way of guaranteeing it at the moment. But right, he glyphs the range creep to bait the Magnus. This is just another high MOR play that's very difficult to do, but if you can do it, puts you on another level. Reason being is the tower, right? He lets the creep go into tower range, so it tanks it for him. Glyphs up the range creep, and now it's attack moving. Really nice attack moving. Hit, move, hit, move. Then he goes for a dive onto the Magnus. Obviously, it's very hard to track Magnus under the tower here. Once again, Magnus almost lives to a level 6 Monkey King with Jingu, so that just goes to show how hard that hero is to kill. But after that, he's going to slow it down, which is my favorite part. Most people don't know how to slow down Dota. And what do I mean by that, slow down Dota? Well, when most people get ahead and they get their adrenaline running, they get a kill, they just keep going and they keep going and they keep going until the enemy team reacts and they die. And in this laning stage, he strongly avoids that. So what we're going to see, right? After he picks up these kills, he uses his Boundless Strike to shove out this wave. And part of the reason is, on half HP, he doesn't want to make any dive plays because that's the range where Magnus is easily going to be able to RP him with his level 6 and kill him, right? That is one of the strengths as Magnus as well. Always playing around your opponent's strengths. That's just another theme of this video. And because of this, he just starts killing off the jungle. In fact, he's not maxing out his Jingu, even skips the point at level 7 and level 8 to start maxing out his W, skips his ulti because he is understanding how he has to play to win this laning stage. 55 CS in 8 minutes, even though he has a death, and now he is 1k ahead of a Magnus, one of the fastest farming heroes in Dota. I can't stress how good this is, why it matters so much. You just have to really implement it for yourself. This is not necessarily hard to do what he's doing right now. You just have to do it in the right situations. And yeah, the cycle kind of continues from there. I'll go over one more fight before we basically end this video. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed so far. If you did, like the video. I think there's a lot of value in this. Takes a lot of time to improve on, but if you really hear out what I'm saying and practice these things, you'll get to become a top tier player. It's definitely possible. And yeah, we're going to see the basic, not final fight of the game, but final fight of this replay here. He actually tries to Monkey King dodge the glimpse or something. Mischief dodge, I should say. Taking the fight here, right? Gets skewered in, builds up the Jingu, right? Just, it's always good to always build Jingu on Monkey King. That's pretty straightforward. Nothing insane here, but the reason why this works out, why guys, it's because he has this extra quarterstaff, which gives him 10 attack speed, 10 damage. He has plenty of stats, power treads, which is just such a broken boot right now in my opinion. Even managing to switch to the strength treads here, which allows him to tank these tower shots. Goes back to Agi to try to get more autos off, does end up going down, but just such a display of dominance, making so much space for his anti-mage in this game. And the reason why he can make these plays is because he has 91 CS in a matchup where he knows it's difficult for him to dive later on. Also, his early mechanics are unparalleled by the majority of players. So hopefully you guys can learn some things here. I recommend you play 1v1s, try to get a friend, try to practice these things, because it takes thousands and thousands of matches to get to this level. Once again, it's possible. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace, homies. Are you tired of being hard stuck at your rank? Over at gameleap.com, we have a library of hundreds of guides authored by pro players and coaches covering literally every aspect of Dota. Whether you're looking to master a new hero or role, or just polish up your existing skills, GameLeap is the proven place for competitive gamers to hone their craft and unlock their secret potential. Hit the link on screen right now, to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount, guys, 25%, and start your journey today.